We do have some breaking news today. Biggest storyline of
Yeah.
a while. Ricardo Allen was released by Carson Wentz was traded to the Indianapolis Colts for conditional second and third.
Yeah.
Apparently, not many other teams put out offers. What were your thoughts on that whole situation?
Yeah, I mean, to your point, it's a story that we've been sort of tracking. We knew things would get a little crazy, this kind of like this off season. What about 2 weeks, probably just a little more than 2 weeks ago, you had the Goff and Matthew Stafford trade. So you just assumed, and we were kind of waiting on when this was going to happen. In fact, we almost thought like it was going to happen a couple of weeks ago, and it didn't. And then out of the blue, like you said, it's just it's out there, and I think it's a win-win in a lot of ways for both of these franchises. And it's a win, I think, for Carson Wentz. Like if you said to me, hey, pick the team that he would fit in best with, I think there's a lot of obvious reasons why the Colts are that team. When you talk about familiarity with this coaching staff, obviously his head coach, Frank Wright, and you think about the seasons that he had when he was his offensive coordinator in Philadelphia, that was when Carson was at his peak. He's got an offensive line that's tremendous. I was freelancing, Zach, during the football season with Intel Sports, and two of the teams that we had pretty consistently were Tampa Bay and Indianapolis. So I got an up close and personal look at that Colts team every single week, and that offensive line is terrific. And that was one of the issues that I think Carson had in Philadelphia. Now he slides in where he's got some weapons. He's got a running a game that I think really surged in a big way in the second half of the season. So across the board, win for him. I think a win for this Colts organization. Philly doesn't necessarily get the amount of first round picks that they had initially had asked for. And I know right now on paper it's conditional first round pick, but if there's some basic threshold that Carson meets, I think it's like 75% of the games he's got to play or something along those lines, that'll turn into a first round pick. So all indications are Philly at least gets potentially the first rounder that they were looking for. And sort of the circus around this team. You got a new coaching staff in Philadelphia. They get to get a fresh start, don't have to worry about the drama associated with this. So, in sports, it's not typical we say both sides or three sides win, but in this situation, I think both teams and Wentz all winners here.
Do you think Sudfeld's ready to lead the Eagles?
I think I might pause on something like that, but it's wild too, right? Like even think about it from Zach, like a Philadelphia perspective. I think about, and I've thought a lot about this. I think I've had me and everyone else, more free time than we would like. Thinking about life and some other things. I try to focus my attention on football. One other note on this is this idea, and it's not tangible, right? Like you can't see something on the field with Carson Wentz, besides maybe like the 15 interceptions in 12 games, and say, hey, like that's obvious. Like those are things that were not good. But what's it like to play in a city like Philadelphia? Now, I grew up in the Northeast, just outside of New York City, and grew up a Giants fan. So, I understand like those markets are a little bit different. He's going to get inserted back into an Indianapolis sports town that A, is pretty forgiving, and B, pretty damn supportive. So to me, just another wrinkle here when you try to dissect what's happening right now with this trade.